Hey, I'm Elder Rashad Frazier Gaines, host of iSMM365. Thank you for tuning in.
Church of God in Christ. This is Sylvester Lewis, Elder Sylvester Lewis. Oh, let me give myself my title, but Elder Sylvester Lewis, and I am one of the members of the STEM education for the Church of God in Christ through Scholastic Motivations, a very, very important part of our church in that we are trying our best to impact the lives of our young people so that they know that we can have a balance between the spiritual as well as the secular, and the two can live cohesively together. Um, just a few years ago, we started STEM education within Scholastic Motivations. And part of that, we started a new competition, a virtual competition. It actually got its birth during the pandemic, and that is the COGIC STEM Scholars. And so far, we've had a number of winners, and we're going to actually talk to one of our winners. Matter of fact, our last winner. And this is a very phenomenal young woman. She couldn't even be in Phoenix because she was actually doing something within STEM, something that was very important. And so we are certainly pleased to have her come in and just let us know about her and how STEM has impacted her life. And so without further ado, I am going to bring in Nyra, Sister Nyra. And I am so glad that you are here with us, Sister Nyra. Um, this is something that we have been wanting to do with you since you had submitted your entry for COGIC STEM Scholars, and you won. But that's not the only thing that you've won. And let's talk. I actually had when we began STEM education, we had a program called Let's Talk STEM. And so I really want to try to bring that back. And now with this new SMM 365, where we're trying to promote all of our areas in scholastic motivations all year round, this is becoming something that is very, very, very important. And you're going to be our first one. You're the first one we reach back to interview after the fact. And it's only because of what we read about you and what we found out about you and the different things that you are doing. And it just it excites me. It excites me as a STEM person from the church. Back in the day, that was almost frowned upon. Science and the church, they didn't believe that they went together. But as we have seen, quietly, it's a bunch of people who have been in STEM within our church. And now we're bringing that to the forefront when you have people like Bishop Dillard, who was an engineer, who, he and I got together right after he was in Ebony Magazine as one of the most influential young persons under 40 at that time. And he was an engineer. And now, we've been promoting our own presiding bishop, who was a math teacher. And so, and we even named an award within Scholastic Motivations on last year after our presiding bishop, Bishop J. Drew Sheard, because of his expertise and his teaching of math. And so now here we are, another budding engineer. And she has really been doing some big things. But I want you to just start out by telling us a little bit about yourself and what inspired your passion for STEM and engineering.
So my
Welcome.
name is Hi, my name is Nyra Gnabge. I am a senior at Young Women's College Preparatory Academy in Houston ISD. I go to Island of Hope COGIC with Princey W. Bryan Sr. And I would say my inspiration in STEM came from my dad because he went to college for computer science and engineering. And ever since I was born, he always introduced me to building things around the house. We always hooked up surround sound systems. And at the time, he was a construction contractor. And so we would sit at home and look through all the plans together. He would teach me what certain terms meant. And I say that started my catapulting into STEM and problem solving. And ever since I went to my current school, because it's a 6th through 12th grade school, they had always pushed the importance of, even though you may not go into STEM, even though I am, here are the important STEM skills that stem from that and how you can use it in your everyday life. So here I am wanting to pursue civil engineering.
Oh wow, that's wonderful, and I love hearing that it was a familiar type. Same thing with me. Let you know a little bit about myself. Is that I have a degree in biology, and I actually started pursuing that because, like you, a family member that was in it was actually my mother. One of my mother's older brothers was very influential in my life, and I just remember being with him and just the fact to know that he went to Harvard Medical School in the 60s and became one of the first black doctors in our town of Grambling, Louisiana. And so being from the South and having someone to actually go all the way to Harvard Medical School, and that really impacted me. And so my journey began early on through a number of things, activities, just pretty much the same as you. And so having worked at the Research Triangle Institute, doing research with that, and just now finishing up, 6 years at Georgia Tech, and well, I'm promote K through 12 STEM, writing curriculum, former science math teacher in Louisiana, then transitioned out here to um, Georgia, but all at the same time being in the church and sometimes feeling, you know, isolated, but didn't let it deter because I knew what I was doing was relevant. With that being said, you've been involved in many STEM, from my understanding, you've been involved in many STEM opportunities like robotics and coding workshops and mentorship programs. This is the background that I did find out about you. Uh, which of those experience was the biggest impact on you and why?
I would say for the most part, it was my mentorship programs. Like I've been in mentor programs like Delta Gyms because my mom is a part of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I would say that was one of the biggest mentorships in my life because like that built like a circle of women that I knew like that probably have been through the same things that I've been through or going to go through, especially as an African American woman trying to pursue STEM. And another mentorship was ACE, which is for construction. So basically, it's architecture, construction, and engineering. And so I was able to get close with people in the field I'm trying to pursue. And I was able to get those hands-on interactions, which really benefited me. And like being able to, because like for example, through that mentorship, I met a civil engineer who also focused in structural engineering, which is what I want to do. And he was able to show me some of the textbooks he had to work through in college. Um, I even had a mentor help me like write recommendation letters and improve my resume and things like that. It's like the little things that end up building you up, and I just really appreciate those moments.
Oh, that is fantastic. And now, like I said, I also understand that, a lot of those things really do help you focus. Now, I understand you participated in something for a semester with MIT.
Yes.
Am I reading that correctly? Uh,
Yes.
which is, I mean, that is, I mean, truly, I'm in Georgia. I was at Georgia Tech, and that's the fifth, largest research institute in the world. Of course, MIT is number one. We're just right under Caltech and all the others. And so it was just an honor for them to even say that I was a top candidate to bring me in to work there. But to have a semester with the program with MIT is truly phenomenal. What did that experience teach you about engineering, innovation, and yourself?
So it taught me that like there's a lot of people from different backgrounds. Like being in the program itself, like me being from Texas, um, there were people from New York, Massachusetts, like California, just everywhere. And I feel like diversity is very important, especially in STEM. And people from a numerous amount of backgrounds, it brings them together. It's what creates it. And I just believe like through those students, we were able to connect on a level. Like we're going through the same problems. We're all in school. Senior year was around the corner. We were all like, we were in this program for betterment, and we ended up coming out better than what we were. And we also made some new connections along the way. And if it was all without judgment. And I said like that was a very meaningful experience.
Yes, yes. I mean, I really probably could attest to that. That is something that you need, especially in you find in STEM, is the diversity effect and how that really can impact you and make one that makes you feel like you're not alone. That's why I appreciated my summer enrichment program, science enrichment programs, and the things like that growing up, as well as other different type of STEM based organizations or activities. One that I see on your on what you have done is that you were co-captain of a VEX robotics team. Nothing against VEX. I was a coordinator. I was a program delivery partner for Lego robotics. But we understand the importance of VEX because VEX is really, they really give to the schools a little bit better than FIRST. FIRST costs a whole lot more money, and a lot of schools are turning toward VEX because VEX would just basically give the schools the robots and everything. But the most important thing about robotics is that you will learn in the skills of coding. And so, let me get off my teacher moment. Uh, but you were a co-captain for your VEX teams and a member of several other STEM organizations. How has teamwork, and it may, connect to back what you did with MIT, but how does teamwork shape the way you approach solving problems?
Well, firstly, I feel like just teamwork in general, it helps you get a broader scope because everyone has a different idea of how you would go about solving a particular problem or anything like that. But I'd say having that teamwork, it eases like the strain you would probably put on yourself trying to figure something out because you have a multitude of people trying to help you. And like I've been in other organizations like Vex Robotics is under NESB, which I'm
Hmm.
secretary for my school's NESB chapter, as well as my school closely
Wow.
partners with SWE, which is Society of Women Engineers. And they spoil our school a lot. Like we go to all their conventions, and they just show like how just bringing people together can start organizations to help students like that. And yeah, just working together makes things easier overall.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Big shout out to Nesby, which I am very familiar with Nesby. being a former career counselor at a university prior to leaving Louisiana, my alma mater, Grambling State University. Hey, shout out. Also, shout out to the GEMS program for you. I forgot to say that. I'm certainly glad that I'm a D9 myself. And so I know how those things really can help you and get you to where you are. But like you said, you did a lot of STEM organizations. You did Vex Robotics, but I believe you also are in some athletics
Yes.
as well. And so your balance between academics, athletics, like let me see if I get it correctly. You were varsity volleyball.
Yes.
You also held leadership roles as well as, and of course, with everything, I can see in gyms and all the other stuff that you participated in that there was community service. Uh, what motivated you to, you know, pursue excellence in so many? I already have an answer for it because I have a lot of that myself. I mean, I'm so diverse in a whole lot of stuff, but uh, from your perspective, if from your level, what helped persuade you to pursue excellence in so many areas?
So firstly, like for the balance, like my parents, my grandparents always taught me that time management is very serious. And my grandmother, she's very in tune with my schedule because she mostly takes handles like what I need to do transportation wise. And she's like, "What's your schedule for the week? What are you doing this time, this time, this time?" And like she never plays about that because like one of my grandparents' biggest pet peeves is wasted time. And so they made sure that I didn't take my time for granted and that especially with that, that service is at the core of what I love to do. Because being raised, I was always being told like giving back is better than receiving. And throughout all those things, like it just, I want to give back to a bigger cause. So that's why I commit a lot of my time to wanting to help others. And so
Yeah.
like, yeah, and I also like I was very as like hyper as a child. So I did do a lot of sports like when I was little, I did ballet, tap dance, gymnastics, cheer dance, but now I do taekwondo and volleyball.
Taekwondo, they didn't put that one on there. But that is, I mean, that's wonderful. That is great. I also understand you built some beds and participated with Habitat for the Humanities. That
Yeah,
one of your community services, as well as tutoring younger students. So, and you already talked about, how giving back, how that is, how that is phenomenal in your life and how important that is in your life. But here's a question that people a lot of times ask me about all the stuff that I was doing. Because I mean, I wrote plays, I was on the radio, I was, and a lot of people thought I was in one major, but I was in a science major, and it kind of blew their minds. Um, how do you think all of this stuff would connect? How does all this connect with your passion for STEM? All of this other stuff that you're doing.
so I feel like a lot of things make up STEM and even also STEAM because it's a acquired taste to most people because if you ask most people they say they don't like math, science was their like hardest subject, but for my passion it's just something that I love to do. Like I would never get bored, and so like I always love doing like community service projects, and it felt like a space that like, because at first like I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but when I started actively pursuing STEM, it made me feel like I had a purpose. It made me feel like I can give back and help other students in these areas and like help them with their time management, which is what I do. Like when tutoring, I help them in math and science, and I help them know that like it's not hard. Yes, it does require a lot of elbow grease and a lot of hard work, but it's like it's not hard. And so just again, just me giving back to them and just my community and my local services and everything, it's all worth it to me.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I truly believe that. And another thing I think that I try to help people with, and I'm glad you mentioned STEAM, bringing in that art piece in there because a lot of people do not make the connection. But for those of us who are in it, I have a lot of time, especially when I have to go into schools and I actually talk about STEM and STEAM. I try to let them see that STEAM is in everything that we do. That even when you don't know that you are doing it, you are participating in it. You know, from the chairs that we sit down in, from the glasses that we wear, from the pencils that we write with, from the language that we speak, all of that, was some form of technology. It was some form of mechanics. And so without us, I mean, I told them the biggest thing, especially the young people, the biggest thing is that, okay, if you don't really like STEM and STEAM, I need you to go get rid of all your phones because all of that came through. Don't get on a computer, don't go online, don't do anything. If you really, but it has helped your life. And so that's to me that was the tie-in with it because I see the benefit of STEM and STEAM in everything. And with that, of course, for students, a lot of them feel intimidated by those type of subjects. And I guess that was my way of trying to get them not to feel intimidated about it, but understand and appreciate it. You don't have to be a master of it. Everyone's not going to be a master of it, but it should be appreciated. Do you have any advice? What advice do you give, young people who feel intimidated about getting started or even believing in themselves when it comes down to those STEM subjects?
My biggest thing is just like trusting yourself because you can be your
Mm-hmm.
own biggest obstacle. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I always like that back, like, you never know what God has for you. And like, even then, like, I know that I probably wasn't going to make it this far in life because I got very sick, but I just trusted in
Mm-hmm.
myself and knew that like I was covered. And so you can do the same thing when you're pursuing your academics. Like there's nothing wrong, like nothing's gonna happen if you make a mistake, you make a low grade on something. It's just that you tried. And so just you trying to make that commitment, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, it takes me to I'm gonna bring in the church on this, but it takes me to the scripture where it says, "Be not weary in your well doing, for in the end you shall reap if you faint not." If you don't give up, basically, keep going with what you are pursuing, because in the end you have great success with it, and one person's measure of success is not another person's measure of success, and we have to understand that. And so, I mean, that's great advice. That's great advice. And so, as we can see, well, because I brought that in, how has faith, along with your family support as well as school community, help guide you toward your goals in STEM?
So I come from a very long line of believers. even in my school, my church, and organizations that support me, there
I know
isn't
your church.
anyone, there hasn't been anyone that told me not to follow my dreams. And they challenged how I think and the decisions that I've made. And even though I know not everyone will be honest, and I know sometimes like I'm not as consistent as I should have been, like I use it as a self-reflection for growth. And just they've always like supported me wanting to do STEM. Like they will always ask me, Nyra, can you build this for us? Can you do this? Like, because even earlier, we're preparing for our church's Easter extravaganza. So I was building a puzzle for the little kids to play with. And like they were just so intuitive and asking me what it was, how we came across wanting to do that. And it's just like they've always been supportive of me and wanting to pursue my dreams. And they're like, even though now like I want to go to college out of state, they're like, we'll support you. We'll support you. Like it's that community that like it's been built.
Yeah. I can say I know I Live in Hope. Uh, I do have a little bit of a connection with Island of Hope. Y'all still have your college ministry functioning, young adult college ministry. We actually came to help establish that with a young man that used to go there by the name of Bruce McGrew, Jeremy Bruce McGrew. Matter of fact, I think you have Superintendent Prince Jr. At the time, he was just brother. And we actually came there and helped establish that. So I know Island of Hope, Bishop, shout out to Bishop Bryant. You know, and like I know he's a staunch supporter of education. And so big shout out to him and everything that you all are doing there. And yeah, that is certainly important. Um, Let me ask you this. What is your dream for the future in engineering? And second part to that is how do you hope your work will make a positive impact on the world?
So for me, my dream is to become a civil engineer and with my bachelor's and probably move towards going into a master's of structural engineering in construction or maybe energy. And I
Mhm.
possibly want to start my own firm and start a nonprofit to give back as well. Um, but I hope like my impact is that I promote sustainability, especially in the world of construction, um, because there are a lot of pollutants, especially with like decomposing buildings and things like that. And I just want to move to a more sustainable approach with more like materials that are eco-friendly and not just cost effective.
Mhm.
And I also want to try, like my top school for engineering right now is North Carolina A&T. So I feel like that'll also give me a jump in where I need to go.
See, that was gonna be my next question to see. You were talking about school. Which school are you thinking about going to? North Carolina A&T. You know, that's one of the top HBCUs. I can say that, and so that I mean, and you know, I understand they have a phenomenal engineering program there, and so I pray that I believe you're gonna get in. So it doesn't matter. You're probably already
I already did.
in. I say I knew you're already in. So let me go there. You know, she's a bulldog, so you know, uh, with that is fantastic. I want to transition real quick for the next few questions, and let's talk about um, your experiences within scholastic motivation, since this is what we're dealing with, scholastic motivations, and like everything that you have said, that is, you know, toward who you are and what has gotten you to this point. But I want to ask you one thing, and this is, can you tell me why you couldn't come to Phoenix? Let the people know why you couldn't be in Phoenix this past
So
summer. What was going on that week?
So at the time, I was doing two things at once. So I was in California helping my dad with my grandfather's business because he owns a security firm. And at that same
Mm-hmm.
time, I was in my semester program, and like we did classes for the first 2 months because it was a 6-month program. So I was taking a science writing course and a astrophysics course. And it was a lot. And so a lot of moving pieces. I had to be in classes that were 2 hours long, 4 days out of the week. It was just trying to make that big jump to go to California to Phoenix. It was a big jump.
Yes, I mean, and also, I mean, you submitted. Was it is it's an app that you developed
Yes,
about
so I could
splitting the check?
yes, so I coded an app. It was for my AP computer science course. We had to code in a software. So I coded a bill splitting app. So it was like you can go up to however many people that you have and you can split the check accordingly. So I thought that was like a fun, simple problem that a lot of people have, especially in bigger groups. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I appreciated that because here, and I'm part of the National Invention Convention, which is K through 12 competition, a national competition for inventors, where we have young inventors, and a lot of them are doing apps. They're doing, I mean, it's mind blowing some of the things that they're doing. And even here in Georgia, we have something that's called the Inventor Prize. And so I'm putting it like this. I hope to actually bring some of that to the church. Here's the little, but your app was right up there with what I was seeing, you know, as a judge for National Invention Convention that's held every year in Detroit at the Henry Ford Museum. And
mhm.
so, you know, I thought that was just so phenomenal because I had just mentioned to the committee, hey, we need to, you know, spell out some things. We need to get some inventors and show them that we can invent, that we are innovative. It's not just um, reporting some kind of science founding that somebody else has already done, but they're actually doing the research and actually building something. And so I really appreciated your submission. I just want to let you know that I appreciated your submission because it was along those lines of things that I had been talking about to everyone that we needed to look at and start trying to promote those type of things within our young people within the church. And with that being said, what message would you like to share with other young students who might be considering participating in competitions like the COGIC STEM Scholars Competition or simply just exploring STEM careers as a whole?
So I would say just share your gifts. It's like you may have something that you think that no one else is gonna like or approve of, but that's what we need in STEM. We need new ideas that probably like never one's ever heard of. And like you never know who is watching you or looking for the skills that you may have. And so just taking that chance, presenting that idea, it can change the entire scope of STEM or bring a new idea to the table. And like there's something in STEM and STEAM for everybody. So just bring that idea forth. Even and you can even if it's something that's already been done, you can bring a new scope to like maybe it can be done like this or it can be changed like this, and that can also bring it an impact a positive impact as well.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I certainly agree with that um, because that's what we want to do in our promotion of STEM. Within Scholastic Motivations, we have a number of programs like, well, one that I'm now going to have to do a whole lot more uh, promoting, and that's robotics, even though I started with robotics, but now I am the lead coordinator of robotics, as well as one of the assistants for the Math Olympiad. And we are actually revolutionizing our uh, technology workshop and start bringing in a little bit more with that, with social media, with everything that goes with technology now, not just going in and trying to get you to do some program. We're actually going a little bit further with that. And all of this is to help students build real life skills. And so, why do you think it's important for young people, especially in the church? And know that Scholastic Motivations is, in the church as well as the community, because we can impact the community as well. You don't necessarily have to be a member of the Church of God in Christ to participate in Scholastic Motivations, because it is community based as well. But what could you say on why you think it's important for them to be involved in programs like this at a at an earlier age?
So, especially from my experience, because I was practically introduced to it from birth, um, I would say just starting it the sooner like you can, it helps you hone in some skills like problem solving, teamwork, even working in high stress situations. Um, it can better help fine tune those skills because especially if you're going to pursue STEM, you really need those skills for just about everything. And it's just like it's never too early to start just pursuing, like even doing a tiny thing is like, oh, I put two blocks together. That's just you're starting your your skills already. It's as easy as that. And you can also be doing it without even knowing, but also like bridging it into the concepts of STEM, especially if you're wanting to learn how to code, build something. It can just you can connect it to what you already doing in your daily life and make it better from there.
And I agree with you. Would say that, like you said, you did it from you were in it from birth. Uh, I'm one of the guinea pigs of Scholastic Motivations. I've been a part of Scholastic Motivations since 1984. My bishop, actually, he and his wife were the founders of Scholastic Motivations, and so they practiced in on us. But I stuck with it because it really did help me. It helped me in school. It helped me with, like you said, a lot of those problem solving, a lot of those different things. And matter of fact, it was when I interviewed with Georgia Tech, I talked more about what I did in Scholastic Motivations than I did teaching in the classroom. And I believe that really, they really saw something in that. So you never know, where all these things can. So it is important. I mean, I will say it to these bishops. I say it to the superintendents. I say it to the pastors, the youth workers, the every member. Get your child in Scholastic Motivation, especially if you are really concerned about their careers as well as their education, because it helps hone those skills. It also gives them motivation to go on further and be those productive citizens. And you will be so surprised and grateful for the outcome that will come with that. And so, with that, how would you know, encourage, what would you say to those? What would you, from your perspective, what would you say to those parents and church leaders about the importance of these programs within Scholastic Motivations, from robotics and mathematics, Bible Bowl, and even the technology training for youth? Well, how would you try to persuade them from your perspective?
I would say like it's important to create a safe space for learning students. And like there can be so much misleading information about STEM and STEAM. But I would say the importance is to guide curiosity, because that's what guides this organization as a whole. Just being curious, wanting to learn about a problem more or even solve it. It's important that you embrace the curiosity early on. So it can be a thriving thing. Like they can keep going into wanting to pursue those types of things. You never want to shut down a dream or something that they're curious about, which is like even then for me, I have a lot of my god siblings and cousins who are always very curious. Like when they see me doing a project, they're like, "What's this? How do you do this?" And like even though they're not at the level to understand it, I still push them to like understand it in their terms and explain it back to me. And I just say that's the start, just staying curious. Let the child stay curious.
So it would be safe to say that you see these programs as an opportunity to help students discover their talents and different career paths that they may not have considered before. Would you
Yes.
say that? Okay, okay. And if a younger student, I mean, let's say, okay, we're gonna put this up. It's gonna be put out, and like I'm gonna have it on my YouTube channel. We're gonna put it on Facebook. It's gonna be out there. It's gonna be out there. If a younger student watches this interview and wanted to get involved in one of the Scholastic Motivation programs, what encouragement would you give them?
Never give up. And I know that
Just
sounds
never.
very niche, but like never get like you never know where a path may take you. Even though you fail, it can redirect your vision and maybe wanting to pursue something else. And just staying in tune with the community and the programs that come with it. You can you can go from like even for me, I changed what I wanted to do so many times, but it was still like all in the scope of science. Like at some point I was like, I want to be a detective. No, I want to be an architect. No, I want to be a mechanical engineer. Like I like it could just guide you. And just a community, like people uplift you and also help you stay in the right mindset. Because sometimes like if you fail at that one, like let's say like I'm gonna give an example. For me, it
Okay.
was at a competition, one of my first NSB competitions for vet, and it went so bad. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't think I want to do robotics anymore. And like I was just so stressed. I was almost started crying. But one of the judges was like, y'all were able to push through. Our flight was late. We were a day late. We showed up in the middle of the competition. Our robot was like caved in on itself. Like we were just so ready to
Oh,
just be done.
wow.
But one of the judges was like, y'all made it this far. Y'all were able to stay in one of some of the top ranks of the people in this competition who've already been here. So I would say just push through, just keep going till you fail and then reevaluate later. And I would say just having that community and just being surrounded by the program, it can help you guide your vision. Because sometimes you may not always have the best discretion, and it's the people who's already been through what you're already going through.
It's wonderful. That is wonderful and great advice. I think we have said it once before, that don't give up on what you are doing. Don't be weary. That you'll have great success. You know, if you just keep going. It, the basic thing about unique about going through something is that even in the word through, you will encounter rough. If you take the T and the H off at the beginning, in the middle is rough. And that actually spells through. So you have to get through it. And it's going to be rough in the middle. But in the end, if you look back, you'll see how powerful you really are and how successful you really. Like I said, success is not always measured by the same um, person. Everybody has their own measure of success, and so I truly thank you for taking this time. I know you're busy. I know Island Hope got y'all going through some stuff, and this was your day off of school. I think you spent it at the church, which I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. But it truly was wonderful meeting you, Miss Nyra. We truly appreciate. I hope that you participate in something else. Are you planning to participate in anything else in Scholastic Motivation this year? Or are you just going to focus in on getting to North Carolina A&T?
It's just whatever a door opens for me. I'm willing to participate in anything again for this program because it really is a big help and I love the community. But I don't know. I'm going with not going with the flow, but just seeing what doors God opens for me and what He has planned.
Well, maybe we'll see you in Baltimore. Hopefully, maybe. Maybe I need to call Bishop and and tell him I need her in Baltimore. But it truly was wonderful, and we thank you for your participation on last year with COGIC STEM Scholars. Um, you added another jewel into our crown with trying to show the church that you can get your learning without losing your burning, which is what we've had to fight a lot dealing with because a lot of people thought that the Church of God in Christ was a bunch of ignorant people, but when you look at our founder graduated from Bible college. He actually did. That we had doctors and we had lawyers, we have engineers, we have all of these people who are in the church. We don't talk about it that much, but I really think it needs to be so that our young people can see that you can be successful other than in music and acting and sports, more than entertainment. But there is another side to this. And so it's nothing wrong with being that intellectual. It's nothing wrong with being that inquisitive young person. And I'm so glad, for the foundation and the founding of Scholastic Motivation. It's deep in my heart. As I told you, I was one of the guinea pigs for it, so they put it in me early. I think I was going to the fifth grade. And so they really put it into me early and, sticking with it and has taken me places I never, and in front of people that I never thought that I would be in front of. Um, and so I truly do thank you for spending this time with us. And we do hope we see you in Baltimore. And I know, a lot of people will love to see this. That's all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so
You
grateful
can
for this
go.
opportunity.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Thank you for sharing space with us tonight and celebrating these talented and amazing young scholars and the dedicated staff here at International Scholastic Motivation Ministries of the Churches of God in Christ Incorporated. I'm Rashad Frazier Gaines, Vice President of Organizational Excellence, and I'm so grateful that you were able to spend time with us tonight. Have a great night. See you at AIM.